Hi there, I'm just going to go over the rubrics for grades 3 through grade 6, okay? So if that's you, this is the rubric you need to follow in order to get into the storytelling festival. All right, so to get a level 3 or a level 4 and to get into the storytelling festival, this is what you need. For story structure plot, your story needs to have a clear and effective exposition, inciting incident, rising action, climax, and falling action. These are exciting points that drive the story's progress to the end. That's the first point. The second part is story structure, characters, and settings. The story characters are relatable and well developed. Character motivations, why they do what they do, are clear and make sense. The story has a clear descriptive setting that helps bring the listener into the story's world. All right, the third point is expressive voice. Vocal variation such as pitch, tempo, and volume have been considered. So the pitch is high and low. Tempo is fast and slow. Volume is loud and soft. All right, expressive voice. Effective vocal choices have been made to tell each part of the story. Characters each have distinct and consistent voices when they speak in the story, including the narrator. These voices match the character's personality and or described physical appearance. All right, next point 4, is eye contact, body awareness, and pacing. The student is aware of their body, can sit still, makes good eye contact with the camera, focuses on their audience, the camera, and has good pacing throughout the story. Good pacing means that parts do not drag on too long or go by too quickly so that the audience either loses interest or can't understand what's happening. The pacing is balanced and helps the story move along at an engaging pace. The last point is practice. It is clear that the student has practiced their story, received feedback, and made improvements that have helped make the story more engaging. Students have practiced at least 2 to 3 times on Flipgrid or have emailed videos to Mrs. Dunlap and received and implemented the feedback given. All right, so that's how you get into the storytelling festival. And once again, don't sweat it. I just want it to have a good structure. I want the characters and the setting to make sense. I want your voice to be expressive as you tell it. And I want your eye contact, body awareness, pacing to show that you've practiced and that you've implemented feedback as you're practicing your story. Okay? So it sounds a little complicated, but it's really not that hard. If you've been following along and practicing with our drama lessons, then you are right where you're supposed to be. All right, level 1 and 2. These will not be included in the storytelling festival. So story structure and plot, point 1. The story does not have a clear structure. It lacks some or all of the key plot features such as exposition, inciting incident, rising action, climax, and falling action. And or the storyteller sounds like they are just rambling. Okay, that's what we don't want. Point 2, story structure, characters, and setting. You will not be included in the storytelling festival if your story's characters lack motivation for doing what they do, if there are too many characters or the characters aren't consistent, if things don't make sense and the listener can't picture the characters clearly. For the setting, if there's a lack of a clear setting or too many jumbled settings, and those things prevent the listener from understanding when and where the characters are in the story, you won't be included. All right? Expressive voice. If your voice is flat as you're speaking, if you're not making choices regarding pitch, volume, or tempo, if your characters do not have distinct and consistent voices to match their personalities throughout the story, then that will not get you a 3 or a 4 to get you into the storytelling festival. Point 4, eye contact, body awareness, and pacing. If you are distracted or wiggly as you're telling the story to the point that it's like distracting, If your eyes are focused somewhere else in the room that is not the audience or camera, like this, like I'm telling my story over here, but I really need to be focused right here, right? So if that's difficult, then you won't get in. Pacing drags on too long or goes by too quickly so that the audience either loses interest or can't understand what's happening. There may be long breaks between parts as the student remembers what comes next. If those things are happening, then you won't be included in the storytelling festival. And practice. If it is very clear that the student has not practiced and has not implemented feedback and the story is still lacking the needed elements to make sense and to be clear, if the student has never submitted a Flipgrid practice or has submitted only once and has not implemented feedback to make the story better, that is how you will not make it into the competition. So, do all of the things on the right that's wrong. Do all of the things on the left side of the column and do not do the things on the right side. And that is how you will make it into the storytelling festival. Can't wait to hear your stories.